Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're excited as I am about this one. This is a brand new grinder, T64S, 64mm, variable RPM, SSP Burrs bargain. Let's get into it. So let's just start from the top down, shall we? So straight off the bat, it's a white 64mm single dosing grinder. We have the usual bellows on top there. You don't have to use the bellows with this. It does also have just the plate, which does sit nicely in the top should you wish to not use these, put these away. I do think it's probably a slightly better look. The branding on the top there, for some of you, may give it away. Put that back in here. Obviously this is the adjustment collar on the top. So if I just turn it round, you've obviously got coarse and fine. I'm currently around 15, obviously round to 0. You can go coarse all the way to remove the adjustment, which will release the burrs. We also here have a zeroing collar, so that's held on by a little grub screw. If you change the burrs inside here, you can obviously re-zero the grinder then to whatever those burrs are. Moving on down, removable chute, so that's handy for nicely cleaning inside there. You can see the declumper. That's actually a fork and a metal shim sort of combined in one. Very standard as we see these days, dosing cup. So you can use the cup obviously on its own. You've got the included funnel as well. You can obviously put that funnel if you would like, or use your own dosing funnel into there, portafilter in there if you so wish. Me personally, I just use the included dosing cup. Nice quality, nothing special about it, just looks like a cast aluminium cup to me, nothing ridiculous. I do probably prefer the stainless one of the niche. It's a slightly better look. I feel like the polished, and it feels slightly better as well being stainless, but I think that's a cast aluminium, so slightly cheaper there. If we move on down, just normal base, power button on the side here, that lights up blue, just an on and off. And then over on this side here, we've got the variable RPM. So this is a 300 watt brushed motor rather than something like the DF64V, which I think is a 250 brushless. With the brushed, you shouldn't find that you stall the grinder. I haven't heard any reports of it stalling. I haven't been able to stall it myself. I haven't used anything extremely light, but still nothing has stalled it so far. So if we just turn it on, this is 800 RPM. And we move round through the range. As you can hear, that's 2000 RPM there, and it's fairly quiet indeed. At 800, really no problem at all. I'm grinding everything on this at 800 RPM, and then when the grind's finished, switching it up to 2000 to use it as a purge, a bit like the Lagon P100 or the Cafatec Flatmax 2 does. They have purge functions. You can use the variable RPM to the same extent. Let's take the top carrier off now, and I'll show you inside, show you the burrs, and then we can grind some coffee. So as ever, first things first, turn the unplug it, turn it off before you start delving inside. So obviously, like I said to you, we've got the coarse and the fine markers. So we'll just spin this all the way to coarse. Keep going. And eventually the top will pop off. So there's the anti-popcorning device in there. Just push that off the bottom. I can show you that there. Anti-popcorning. Then we have the top burr. Let's just brush that off on there for now. There. So as you can see, SSP 64mm high uniformity burrs, pre-installed that is. No need to put these in yourself as an afterwards. They've come pre-installed with high uniformity burrs from SSP, which is fantastic. It's basically a £200 burr pre-included in the grinder. And then there's the internals for you. So there's the declumper there at the front. So if you want to pull that out, it's easily pulled out with a fork. And as you can see in there, I probably ground around 1.5 kilos of coffee, and it's pretty clean. So rather than using sort of a washer or a spring, you have these sort of push pins, if you can hear that. So as this sits in there, just sits on those 4 pins, easy does it, no issue at all, really simple. So you can just take that top carrier off, then we just push this back on the top, we go all the way to fine. Now I know that is 0, and that will burr chirp if I get there, so we'll go back to about there, and there we have it. There's the insides of it. Let's grind some coffee, see how long it takes. So just so we can also get an idea of retention, let's just put oh, I've got so much there. Right, so 18.1 grams of coffee. Zero the cup and collar. We're going to grind at 800 RPM with no RDT at all. So let's see how long this takes. So as you can see, that's about finished, so we'll just turn the RPM up to purge it. And look at all that coffee that comes out. I don't think it's the intended purpose, but it absolutely works fantastically. That looks about all there to me. Turn the RPM back down. And then as you can see, there's very, very little static in this, considering there's no RDT at all in there. Fairly fluffy grounds. There's a few bits of static there. If I just tap them about a bit on my wrist, look, you really have got quite fluffy grounds there with very little in the way of static clumping them together. I think it's more static clump than a grinder clump. And if we weigh that, well, it's telling me 18.8. That can't be. So there's no way there was 0.7 in there. But anyway, if it has done that, well done to this grinder. 18.9 now apparently. So I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, I think that shows it's pretty much zero retention without RDT. Let's pull a shot, see what it looks like. So that's 9 bar, 35 seconds. So there you have it, initial impressions of the T64S. Delicious. T64S grinder from Bella Barista here in the UK. Now, I do want to let you know, I believe it is now sold out until the autumn. You will have to get in contact with those guys, but the one thing you won't believe is this whole grinder, including the SSP Burrs, the variable RPM, The lovely addition of the zeroing collar. This whole package, it also came with a brush, which I have no idea where that is. £469, or was it £459? Might have been about £469 to my door. So £470 delivered, let's say, to your door. Those SSP 64mm high uniformity burrs sell for around £190, £200 on their own. So you've basically got the rest of the grinder for £260. It is an absolute bargain. You know, it's an absolute bargain. You saw the retention was pretty much none. Like, I can pull that out of there. It doesn't have an ionizer, but somehow manages, I think with that shim, to just reduce the static. It is a fantastic grinder. It seems very, very well built. The finish is good. I'm super happy with it, just as a first impressions. I've had it a few weeks now. I think it's absolutely fantastic. You know, for the money, you know, what competition have you got? You've got the DF64, which is, what, about £50 cheaper. You get Chinese burrs in there. You don't get variable RPM. And I don't think the build quality is quite as good from what I've heard, although I can't comment on that myself because I haven't got it. The biggest competitor where this is really aiming at is the 64V. Now the 64V, I think you can get it on offer for around £550 in the UK, roughly, at the minute. I do know that when I got this, it was on introductory price at $416. I think it was supposed to go to $550 as a direct, obviously, competitor. But even so, at $550, you've got SSP burrs. They're burrs that people basically upgrade to. So this has got a sort of an end game burr already installed. You know, there's many people out there who don't really want to faff about them to take burrs out, then having to do checks, alignments, all of that. This came perfectly well aligned in my opinion. I'm not going to mess about with trying to align it with the last nuance and all of that and shimming it. I'm not interested in doing that. Also, noise, it's not very noisy. Also, I'm not interested in using like a tachometer to test the RPM, you know? It starts slow, it goes fast, and I use that to purge. You know, I can grind everything that I want at 800 RPM, no issues whatsoever. So yeah, fantastic grinder, super happy with it. Glad I chose it over the DF64. I'm going to continue to use it obviously over the coming months where I'll have a full-time review. So please stick around for that. Like, subscribe. Hope you have a great day, great weekend, whatever you're doing. I'll catch you in the next one.